this particular topic is probably one that I could have done on a Facebook Live, but I didn't want to take away from the importance of it, because I think it's something that is overlooked or maybe not thought about often. And it is, are you modeling the opportunity? So when it comes to recruiting or growing a team, building a team, stuff like that, oftentimes I have people that say that they are frustrated because the team is not growing, or the team is not staying active, staying engaged, that kind of thing. And oftentimes we think about, what can we do? What can I do to grow? What can I offer? What can I, whatever. And so I want you to kind of, on this call and this week, kind of think about, what have you already done? What are you currently doing? And is that affecting the business opportunity and your team and everything positively or negatively? These are, oh, my mouse is gone. There we go. These are generally the images that we have about the business opportunity, right? We talk about financial freedom, be your own boss, make your own hours, da, 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 da. We use all of these sayings and all of these terms, but sometimes we, oh, where'd I go? There we go. But sometimes we aren't modeling that. And here's the truth. Even if you are not a $1 million club, whatever, you have to be modeling and showing what the business is doing for you, even if it just means that you got a pedicure this month because you made $25. We have to make sure that what we are offering and what we are modeling, or what we are showing as what is actually being true for the business, is congruent. A lot of times too, we think that we only have to be turned on to the business opportunity when somebody is actually talking about the business opportunity. The truth of the matter is people are watching you all the time. Your friends and family are watching you all the time. Because here's what happened. Who here has had somebody that was a friend or a family member before you got into direct sales join your direct sales business, right? Probably 95% of the entire direct sales population has had either someone who was a friend or a family member before they got into direct sales join their team. So if we know that, then we have to recognize and talk about how, even if we have our Facebook on complete and total lockdown to only friends or family, that they're still seeing it, that's still our warm market. Every single time I do a post about social media or a training about social media, people say, oh, I can post that super drunk picture from, my 10-year high school reunion because only my friends and family see it. Like, okay. Okay, that's still our warm market. And not to say, and by the way, just for the record, I'm not telling you not to get drunk at your high school reunion, okay? I'm telling you not to put it on Facebook. Anyway, so the point here is that if this is what we are saying, join my team because you can be your own boss, make your own hours, do your own thing, then we have to make sure that what we are showing is actually true about the business, which is you. You've become the consultant. You've joined the team. So what are you actually showing? If this is what you are showing more often than not, then there's some incongruence there. And here's where the problem lies. Unfortunately, people get into the direct sales industry, and this is going to be some harsh truth here. I'm not sugarcoating this because I love you guys, and it does no good for me to sugarcoat any of it. But people get into the business, they don't do the work, and then they blame the industry. It is the same thing that is true of people that, jump into a new diet or something like that. They don't stick to the diet, and then they blame the diet for why they haven't lost weight. The exact same thing happens here. You have people who join the business who never leave their house, never do anything but post on Facebook. They spend all of their time sitting behind a computer, not actually talking to people, or just posting in party train kind of garbage things on Facebook. And then when their business doesn't work, they blame the industry. They blame the company. They blame, everything in the world, because here's the thing, it stinks when you have to say, oh crap, I failed. Oh crap, I didn't do this. And yeah, probably 7 out of 10. That's, that's pretty good numbers there. So, but here's the thing. You have to make sure, this is kind of like parenting. I talk often about how leadership is a lot like parenting. My mother, when I was a child, was a smoker. And she told me all the time, do not smoke. Do not smoke. It is terrible for you. It's killing me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know what I started doing at 13? 13, you guys. Smoking. And I'm happy to say that I've quit. I quit almost 10 years ago now, so I pat myself on the back for that. But the thing is, I smoked for many, many years. The thing is, even though my mama, who I love, was telling me to do one thing, she was showing me something else. And I think that when it comes to leadership, the harsh reality is that the exact same thing is true. Oftentimes, we tell our team what to do, but we have to be aware of what we are showing them, because you're a leader. Even if you have one person on your team, that one person is looking up to you for guidance and direction and the how-to. There is a lot of responsibility to leadership. That shouldn't scare you. That should excite you. And that, by the way, is why we get paid the big bucks. And the bigger you get in the business and the more people you model how to do it well, the more bucks you make. That is the industry. So we have to make sure, if we're talking this, that we're not modeling this. All right? So this call won't go 30 minutes, but that's perfectly fine. I may get wordy, y'all know me. So let's talk about social media and who you appear to be on social media to your friends and family. I'm not even talking right now about the people we don't know, although they should be included in this as well. I'm talking about the people that know you. I'm talking about the people you went to high school with that saw you drunk at the reunion, I'm talking about the cousins and the sister-in-laws and the, whomevers that are out there that are friends. I'm talking about the friends of friends. I'm talking about the past people who went to parties who you befriended when you were sitting there, and so on and so on and so on. What are you putting out on social media? I am so thankful that there's not a single person. I think I'm friends with every single person that's in here, and I have not seen a single negative thing on your Facebook feeds. Divas, I cannot tell you. I got frustrated with Facebook just this morning. If there was a way, and there is on my, to just stay in Facebook groups on the app on my phone. I wish there was a way to do that on my computer, because I would spend 100% of my time in my 3 Facebook groups, Party Plan Divas, my Sweat Sisters, and my blogging group, and that's it. There is so much negativity out there on social media. Now, this is not just about sharing, negativity about your business. This is sharing negativity about all the things. Literally, I saw, and it was a blogging friend, and I shot her a message, and I was like, really? I saw a news story that was absolutely horrific shared yesterday. Seriously, like movie type horror story. And literally the person underneath said, "This is the most horrible thing I've ever read. I'm going to share it." Why? Why would you do that? It literally blew my mind. This is the most horrible thing I've ever read. I'm going to share it. I can't even. When you are on social media, I want you to think every single thing that you post. Is it modeling being a great leader and someone that you would want to do business with, have in your living room, hang your hat of your future on? Because here's the thing that we don't think about. When someone joins your team, their goals now have a part of you. Suddenly, they have a goal to be their own boss, make their own hours, get out of debt, buy a house, go to college, put their kids through college, whatever it may be. All of these things. And you're attached to that. So, you have to remember every single thing that you put out there is a reflection of that, and of, man, I really, I want that person to be who I entrust part of my goals with. Granted, they're going to have to do the work, but they're looking to you for how to do that and the guidance to do it. So when you're on social media, make sure that everything that you post is positive. I'm not saying you can't have a bad day. I'm saying when you have a bad day, call me. I'm not saying you can't be angry about something. I mean, goodness knows there's plenty of stuff on the news to be angry about right now. I'm just saying when you're angry, call somebody. You can call me. I can talk to you about it. But just take just a moment and wait before you put it on Facebook. Here is another thing: complaints about money. One of the things that I have done a lot of research on is how we negative talk ourselves often. And a lot, maybe it has to do with my lifestyle change to get healthier and stuff like that. I poke at myself often for being overweight. And I realize that it's almost kind of law of attraction, and that I'm stuck where I am because I'm constantly, it's ridiculous. And why are we talking about it that like that? The same thing is true with money. People that share constant memes about being broke. There was one that went around that said, when you think you have $250 in your checking account and you check and there's $5.36, and there was a picture of the guy shocked or whatever. Now, whether that's accurate or not or whatever, imagine if somebody who was looking for a way to make more money saw that on your feed. I know that it's supposed to be funny. I know that it is, and it was funny. But is it modeling the opportunity? Is it modeling what it is that you have to offer? It's funny, yes, they are funny, sort of, in a silly kind of way. But are you modeling the opportunity? Here's the other things. You have convention coming up, and you, as the leader, discuss the money aspect of it. I can tell you that there were times that I missed conventions because of money, but my team never knew that was why. I cannot put a price tag on a convention and how powerful they can be. You guys have heard my story, and it took me from 0 to 1,000 just to go to a convention. So be mindful when you are complaining about money, even if you're complaining about how now suddenly it's so hot that your AC bill is so high. If you're needing to make a point about the AC being high, talk about how, thank goodness I have my business and I'm able to pay for it. Because, the truth is it's getting paid, right? So, just make sure, again, the way that we're talking about things, it's a knee-jerk reaction to post on social media. It's a knee-jerk reaction to complain. Sadly, negativity is huge right now, and especially on social media. But I want you to think about being the opposite, doing it the other way, okay? Here's another one. How about complaints about time? If you are always late, always running, always stressed, always whatever, what does that say about your business? Nobody is walking around looking for something to stress them out, okay? No one is walking around looking for something to take up an abundance of time. Nobody's walking around like, gosh, I got so much time on my hands. I wish I could fill it with something that makes me stressed, right? No. So think about what you are putting out there, and this is not even law of attraction, okay? That's a whole nother call. But think about what you are putting out there in the way of appearance and modeling the opportunity if you were complaining about time. The truth of the matter is, and not to step up on my soapbox too high here, but we all have 24 hours in a day, and what we choose to do with those 24 hours is 100% up to us. Yes, we have different obstacles. Some people have young children, some don't. But you chose to have the kids. Some people work outside of the home, some people don't. Some people have parents they're having to take care of, some people don't. Some people have a 2-hour-long commute just to get to where they have to work for 8 hours. I mean, there's all these kinds of things that can affect what you have to do with your 24 hours. But the truth of the matter is we still all have that same amount of time. This is why making sure that you are managing your time is so important. That is what the foundation of Party Plan Divas is. Because when I first started, if you had told me with the day that I signed up that I was going to be running a full-time business in addition to working 45 hours outside of the home and being on call every other weekend, and having a husband and a child and a house and a dog and this, I would have just laughed at you and just been like, yeah, okay. But you know what? It was out of necessity that I had to. And I had to create, you know, the time management. And even so, I still run Party Plan Divas 100% by myself. So, you know, it is all about time. But when you are talking about time, again, there's nobody out there with just an abundance of time that's bored. So when you're talking about your time, if you're running late all the time, if you're late to every meeting that you have or whatever, understand, first of all, that's a habit. That doesn't make you a horrible person. But just, you know, think about what it says. Here's another thing, too, is complaining about others. So everybody on your team wants to be you. It's one of the best things about leadership. It's one of the worst things about leadership. They join because they want to be just like you. They want to have the success that you've had. Even if your success isn't necessarily even better than theirs is. I had other team members on my team that, you know, at times were like the same ranks that I was or the same, you know, whatever. But they always still kind of looked up to me because I was still the leader of the team, and you are too. So be mindful of who you are talking about to others. I'm not saying you have to get along with everybody in your team. That's virtually impossible. In fact, yeah, it's 100% impossible. It is absolutely impossible. And if you're getting along with every single person on your team, I guarantee that they're not getting along with every single person on the team. It's okay. It's all right. We totally have different personalities. What is not okay is to talk poorly of one another, especially to each other. If you have somebody on your team that's just driving you completely mad, call me. All right, we'll talk about it, and you can complain to me. But don't blast out on social media. Don't blast out at a meeting. Don't try to do the vague, cut down, you know, whatever garbage that we see all the time. And the whole thing about if they'll gossip with you, they'll gossip about you is absolutely 100% true. I spend a good bit of my time when I am doing one-on-one coaching about how to handle other people. And I always cringe when they're talking about a situation and they say, and then my you know, this person said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, how is that person even involved? Why is that person involved? It's not modeling the opportunity. And here's the other thing too. If you've got somebody who is looking at the opportunity and you're sitting there trash talking about somebody on the team or on another team or at corporate or whatever, I don't know anybody else that is like, let me see how much drama I can add to my life. I want to join your team so that I can, you know, have drama, right? That doesn't happen. This is probably the biggest one. It's when you just are living in complete and total chaos. And sometimes it's not even actual chaos. Sometimes it's like, you know, it's just that you're just stressed. For a long time, I used to say, you know, hassle me, I thrive on stress, because it was a picture of this cat that had gotten wet, so its hair was standing up everywhere, that my mother had on the refrigerator. And it was a joke, but I didn't get it. I thought that was just part of adulting, was being all stressed out. And it's funny because when I talk about my time management courses and stuff like that, one of the things that I say is there are some people that thrive on stress. Here's the thing. I thrive when I have a deadline and I have stuff due and I have a schedule, which to some people is stressful, but my type A personality requires that the deadlines and the due dates and this, that, and the other. To some people, that would make them a frazzled mess. That's part of the reason why we get into direct sales, right? Is so that you don't have to necessarily have that. But my point is that you have to figure out what you're putting out there. Do you look frazzled? Are you a schedule type, you know, whatever person or not? Do you do better? How do you thrive? Do you do better when you don't have a schedule, when you don't have deadlines? Whichever one it is, you can create what works for you. And of course, our business is the way that we can do that. But if you constantly look stressed out, then what are you saying about the business opportunity? The blessing and the curse of this industry is every single thing that you do, people are looking at you to see how your direct sales business is affecting your life. You may work at a bank or be a teacher or, you know, whatever, but people are looking at your direct sales business. People are looking at the opportunities you're creating. So you may be stressed out about school. You may be a student. You may be stressed out about school, but if you like carry that stress over into your direct sales business, so then you look all frazzled, you're going to turn people off from the business opportunity because, again, nobody is looking for, you know, something to stress them out. All right, so the last thing is just not having a duplicatable system. This is totally not a shameless plug. If you use my system, great. If you don't, that's okay too. I assume because you're here that you're using the Diva Success System. But the thing is, if you keep everything very, very positive, you don't engage in the drama, you don't, you know, whatever, where anybody can see it. I'm not saying you can't, you know, have a bad day or, you know, or get stressed or whatever, but you don't make it very public and you just have a system that works. It is amazing. I recruited like crazy. And when people say, you know, how did you do it? What did you do? I had to really think not about what I was doing, because I wasn't doing anything differently than all these other people were doing. But there were a lot of things that I was not doing. And so that's what I realized with growing my team, with recruiting new people, with having that leadership role where people really looked up to me, participated in challenges, stayed engaged and stuff like that. It wasn't as much about what I was doing, because I wasn't necessarily doing anything different. I was running incentives, I was, you know, doing the calls and all that kind of stuff. But I think it was more about what I was not doing. And so this was kind of my list. So I hope that this call inspired you and didn't feel like a scolding or anything, because of course, like I said, I'm looking at walls here and have never seen any problem like that. But I bet there's somebody on your team that does stuff like this. I bet there is someone you know who may have even come to mind as soon as one of the cards flipped, right? So just kind of take this as a pat on the back that you're doing it right if you're not doing any of these things. And maybe if there is somebody on your team that is doing it, then maybe this is giving you an opportunity or a way to talk to them about it. The true thing is, if you look at what makes a great leader, you look at all of the quotes about leadership and all that kind of stuff, none of these things are included. Okay, nobody's complaining, nobody's being negative, nobody's catty talking anyone else or anything like that. Make sure everything that you do, that you're modeling the opportunity. There is some responsibility to being in leadership, but it certainly makes it worth it.